can't stop him. He'll just make a move. Joe Souchere.
We're going to abbreviate John's newscast and welcome Jeff Strumb to the studio. Jeff, are you a director of the Great Race?
I am, Joe, or do I call you Mayor?
No, you can call me Joe.
All right, Joe.
Joe's fine.
Yeah, I'm the director of the Great Race.
And have you been for many years?
15 years.
Oh,
I've been
15
a
years.
director of this event. I used to be a competitor, started back in 1994. So I've been associated with it as either a participant or a director for 31 years.
Where are you from?
Tennessee.
Is that where you live now?
Yes.
Now, this is called the Hemmings Great Race.
It is. The Hemmings Great Race presented by Coker Tire.
And I, as a side note, I'm damn near a charter subscriber to Hemmings Motor News. I back in the day when it was about the size of a paperback book.
Yeah.
So I'm way past
You do
50
go
years.
way back.
Yeah.
Do you have a closet full of them, Joe?
No,
like I do?
I don't. I realized if I saved them, I would be a hoarder.
I inherited all my dad's, and I love them.
Oh, they're wonderful.
Yeah.
Jeff, what is the Great Race?
Well, it's an old car race across the country each year, and it started in 1983. And it's the brainchild of a man named Tom McRae, who wanted to get the cars out of museums and garages and get them back on the road. And he had this harebrained idea that he would have this event go cross country. And we've done it every year since for 40 some odd years. And it's cars as old as 1913, all the way through 1974. So it's not a speed race in the sense of an Indianapolis 500 or Daytona 500, but it is a race. It's a race of endurance and accuracy. The team that does it the most accurate, that drives the speed we tell them to do, to stop at the stop sign for the exact amount of time that we tell them to, be able to handle the school bus or the combine that's blocking the road and know how to get their time made back up. They're the winners, and the team that wins will win $50,000 out of a total $162,000 purse.
Well, the entry fee is pretty handsome, isn't it?
It is. It is. You have to have the wherewithal to do this. The entry fee starts at $7,000 plus hotels, plus fuel, plus everything that goes with traveling and shipping cars.
So they could run you up to $25,000 maybe.
Yeah, there's teams I think on do it on a budget maybe at 15.
Yeah.
But if you have a support crew, you're talking, even more.
And you are allowed to have a support crew.
About half the teams have a support crew, but they're not allowed to help them during the day. They go to the finished city each day and wait. So this is a 9-day, 2,300-mile event.
It starts at the Minnesota Fairgrounds Saturday morning.
Saturday morning at noon.
At noon. And what is night one? Rochester, Minnesota.
It is. The cars will line up starting about 10 and be on display right there at the entrance to the Minnesota State Fairgrounds where that nice arch is. And, of course, we'll put our arch up for the Great Race. And the first overnight, it may not sound like very far, is Rochester.
I was going to ask you about why that is such a short distance.
Well, it's because it's not a full day of competition.
All right.
We use 300 hotel rooms a night, so we have to have places we can go. And if we go a little further, we're in Iowa and towns that don't even have 300 people, much less 300 hotel rooms. So that drives it a little bit. But on a normal day, when we'll go all day long, 8 to 5, we'll travel in that amount of time. What you could do in your car in 3.5 hours.
Okay.
Because we're out on back roads, zigging and zagging, doing 35 miles an hour or 20 or 50. We never ask them to go more than 50.
During the whole 9 days?
Yes.
So this is not a speed race. This is endurance and timing.
Yeah, it's a time, speed, distance rally, and it is all about being the most accurate. There's secret checkpoints all day long.
What do you mean by secret?
Well, we know where every car does the same route, but 1 minute apart. So first car does the route 2 hours ahead of the last car.
Okay.
And we place checkpoints that they don't know where they're going to be.
Are they handed them at the start of the day?
They're given their instructions at the start of the day, and they don't know where the checkpoints are. So the incentive is you want to stay on time all the time, on
Does the
course and on time.
So does the checkpoint make itself obvious to you
Yeah,
when
they
you're arriving?
When they approach, they'll see it coming from maybe an eighth of a mile away. But by then, it's too late to if you're 20 or 30 seconds off of what you think you're supposed to be, it's too late to really do much about it. And what it is when they cross the checkpoint, you're scored. And for every second, either early or late, you get a score. So if you're 5 seconds early, it's just as bad as being 5 seconds late. So you get a 5 second a score. And at the end of the day, if there's 7 checkpoints, we total them all up. Lowest score wins.
The cutoff for a car is 1974. It must be pre-74.
Yes.
No limit as to how early the car can be manufactured.
No, the oldest one this year is a 1913 Chevrolet.
And the 1913 has as much a chance to win as a 1974 Corvette.
The winner last year was a 1916 Hudson.
For Pete's sake.
Okay, I have to step in here. I've been around racing, Jeff, all my life, and racers, they will help each other. They, a guy will give another guy an engine, but then that racer will bitch about that guy and then turn him in for inspection at the end of the race. Now, my question being, if a 1969 Mustang Fastback wins, isn't the guy in a Model A going to be extra angry about that?
No,
How do these guys take
not the
it?
way I'm understanding it, no.
Not in this event, because you're really pitting yourself against the clock.
Yeah.
What is a predetermined time. We know what time they should cross each checkpoint. They don't know, because they don't know what the checkpoint is. So they're striving to keep that vehicle on time, and it's much harder in a 1916 Hudson than it would be a 69 Ford. But it's all about you versus the clock. And at the end of the day, everybody's comparing scores, and there's really nothing, if another guy beats you, there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
You're happy about him.
So I was telling Such a few weeks ago or whenever that I used to race motorcycle endurance races out in the woods, and these guys would hide the checkpoints. And my very first race I was in, I go around a corner, and there's 5 riders just sitting there on the edge of the trail, and I went by them like a dum-dum, went around another corner, boom, there was the checkpoint. Yep. So do the racers ever see you pull over, sit there, look at their watch, and wait for their minute, and then go through the checkpoint?
No, because there's just really on the back roads, there's just not enough time to see it. And if we see them stop, that's a penalty.
Okay,
so,
all right. I really love this.
Does someone pre-drive this 9 days to get a handle on the timing?
Because of the competition aspect of the $160,000 in prize money, we measure the course 3 times in advance. Oh. And this is a 2-week job.
What is the size of your staff?
There's me, and I have a event coordinator who handles a lot of the meals from the cities, and
but you've got to have people manning the checkpoints.
And I've got a guy that has been our director of competition since 1990, and then we have about 40 volunteers that take their 2-week vacation to come work for us each year, and most of them have been doing it 20-plus years.
Is there the same number of checkpoints on each leg?
No, it could be anywhere from 5 to 9. We've had days where it's been 12. And what that is they'll loop back around a checkpoint. So you may cross a checkpoint, drive a mile down the road, turn right, drive 4 miles down the road, turn right, drive 10 miles down the road, turn right, drive that 4 miles back, turn right, and now you're back on that same road again, and you'll cross that checkpoint again.
Describe for the listener.
Fantastic.
Describe for the listener where you're going when they leave the fairgrounds on Saturday noon, and 9 days later they end up where?
In Irmo, South Carolina, which is a suburb of Columbia, the state capital.
So you can
South
find
Carolina.
some hotel rooms.
Oh yeah, there's beautiful DoubleTree in West Columbia. South Carolina.
Is it pretty festive each night at a stop?
Oh my gosh, yeah! It's now obviously here we have the built-in back to the 50s,
right,
which is just phenomenal. What a just phenomenal event! I've been friends with Wally Burchell for many, I guess 15 years. That is one of the directors there, and it's just such a great event. But when we go to cities like on Sunday night, we'll be in Moline, Illinois.
Okay, so it's Rochester to Moline.
Yes, with a
lunch stop.
Lunch stop in Waterloo, Iowa.
All right, because every day there's a lunch stop.
Every day is a lunch stop, except for on the first day because we start so late.
Right.
So we'll have lunch in Waterloo, Iowa, right there on the river at the amphitheater.
Are the lunch stops predetermined?
Yes.
And so the food's waiting.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
And there'll be a big crowd.
Yeah.
Do you like how he's working in where he's going to try to find you guys? I love that part.
And then we'll hit Moline, and we've been to Moline before. We had a finish there in 2016. And it's a great car town too, and there'll be thousands and thousands of people in the streets. We go into a town, we'll close off 4 or 5 blocks, and it's an instant festival. You got the kids milling the streets. It's free to the public. I mean, this is one of the coolest events you could ever see. It's the most unique event in all of motorsports, and it's free.
How many cars in this race?
We limit it to 120.
Has it always been do you have any trouble filling that out?
No. There's a 2-year waiting list.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh.
So if you were to...
I want in, but I got to sign up now, and it'll be 2 years.
We just accepted the deposits for the 2026 Great Race.
Yeah.
For people who had been on the list for a year, and the race is still another year away.
Is it the largest race of its kind in the country?
Yes, it's the #1 vintage car rally. There's just nothing else like it.
Is this your full-time employment?
Yes.
This is what you do?
Yes.
It takes you all year to do this.
It does. Coker Tire owns the Great Race, and I work for Coker Tire, and we put this event on, and it does. We spend all year, not only do we run the route 3 times in advance, we'll do it in the summer, the spring, and we did it about a month ago. And then we have a crew that does it the day before. And then we have our director of competition does it an hour before the first car. So that's 5 times in advance of the first car doing it.
When you're running the route in advance, does that mean that running will stop at every checkpoint that will be enforced on the drivers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that's where we locate where those checkpoints will be. And then mostly when we're doing is measuring it the other times to make sure that no signs have been moved. Because that is a
trouble.
The arrow pointing the other way.
Literally destroy.
That's from the Great Race, the movie.
Yeah. Even if it's the same sign but it's been moved 100 feet, would screw up everything.
Yeah.
So, and you'd be surprised how many signs are there the day before that are not there an hour before the first car gets there the next day.
Interesting.
All it takes is one drunk driver to get off the road a little bit, and clip a sign. It's down in the ditch now. On Saturday night. On Sunday morning, it's still down in the ditch.
What happens in the event of violent weather?
We keep going.
Really?
We keep going. This is rain or shine. In 2019, we started in Riverside, California. And we went to Tacoma, Washington. So we went through Nevada, obviously California. We started in California, Nevada, Oregon, and Washington. And it was 100-plus degrees across the desert when we went over the Cajon Pass into Lancaster, California. It was 100-plus degrees. 4 or 5 days later, we were at Crater Lake, Oregon. It was 31 degrees and it was snowing, and this was in late June.
How many cars total?
120.
And that's it. It can't be. It won't be larger than that. And it's not smaller than that.
No, it's and that's based on that's 1 car per minute for 2 hours.
Okay.
So I could add more cars, but then logistically you'd have people coming in to lunch at 3 p.m. and coming to the finish line at 8 o'clock at night. And it just logistically it doesn't work.
What was the magazine's role in the founding of the race?
Hemmings has been our title sponsor for a decade and a half.
Oh.
And in 2010, Great Race came to ownership under Coker Tire, and that's when Hemmings came on as our title sponsor. The publisher there at the time, Jim Minetto, was a participant in the event, and he really helped save the event. Hemmings and Jim Minetto helped save the event through a rough period of time before 2010. And once we took over in 2010, it's been incredibly successful.
Is it plausible for a driver to do it without a companion in the car?
It has been done. It has been done.
Okay.
We had a guy
Why
back.
don't you throw that phone away?
I turned the volume down before I sat down. I don't know
I
why.
see where you're going with this, Joe. I'm coming along.
We had a guy that had a little Model T Speedster back in the 90s. His name was Rossi Morris. He's from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and he did it by himself. And he had a thing where he could flip the instructions. And he's one of those guys. He smoked a cigarette the entire time. He'd light the next one with the old one, and he never. He's driving down the road by himself, smoking cigarettes, flipping the instructions in an orange Model T Speedster that was a little boat tail job, and it was fantastic.
Should we give the YouTubers a little love here? Look at this thing.
I don't see anything.
Oh, let me.
I'd love to see something, but you don't have it up there.
Hang on, let me redo that again here, sir.
Joe, I got a million questions.
I do too. What's the total mileage again?
About 2,300 miles, 2,350.
Is that
Take
the
his
same?
Microphone away.
No, is that the same every summer?
It's generally within a 50 miles one way or another. And it just works for us. The distance between start and finish cities, we do that something intentional. Like we used to go coast to coast, and it was a 2-week event.
Yeah.
And in 2011, we went down to 9 days, consecutive days. We used to do 2 weeks with a day off in the middle. This is 9 consecutive days.
9 consecutive days.
And it has to be, it can't be New York to Los Angeles. You can't cover that ground the way we do it in that amount of time.
I'm so intrigued by the idea that the car has to be fit. It has to be sound, but it doesn't have to be a $4 million Ferrari.
Oh, no.